Hello, friends. So, before we open chapter 2 of Power of Now, there's a question we needed to answer first. Why does a moment that lasted 10 seconds still hurt us 10 years later? So, someone asked this question in our community, and it's one of the most important questions we can ask, because until we understand why pain gets stored inside us, we won't fully understand what Eckhart is pointing to when he talks about the pain body. So before we go into chapter 2, we are going to spend a few minutes on something that will make everything else click into place. And here's the beautiful thing. This answer isn't new. It's thousands of years old. In Bhagavad Gita, one of the most profound and oldest spiritual texts in the world, Lord Krishna uses the word Samskara. Now, in the Gita, Samskara has two layers of meaning and both are important. The first meaning is impressions. Every experience we go through, every thought, every action, every emotion leaves an imprint inside us. Imprint, like pressing a stamp into soft clay. The clay hardens and the mark stays there. Krishna teaches Arjuna in chapter 15 that when the soul moves from one life to next, just like the wind carries the fragrance of flowers, it carries these impressions with it. These samskaras, these stored marks of everything it has experienced. The second meaning of samskara in Gita is conditioning. The idea that these stored impressions don't just sit there quietly, they shape how we see everything. They color our reactions, they drive our choices, often without us even knowing it. So in Sanskrit, the word itself comes from Sam, meaning complete or together, and Kara means action or doing. So put together, a completed action that leaves a mark. So think of it as grooves in old music record. Each experience, each repeated emotion, each unresolved pain, it carves a groove a little deeper, and once the groove is deep enough, the needle of our mind automatically falls into it, every time without our permission. So that's a sanskara, a groove that keeps playing the same old song. So now Michael Singer in Untethered Soul takes this ancient concept and explains the mechanism behind it in a way that our modern minds can understand immediately. He explains it through energy. So everything that happens to us enters us as a vibration of energy. A harsh word, a frightening moment, a sudden loss. These aren't just mental events. They arrive in our system as actual energy. In a healthy state, that energy should just move through us like writing on the water. The water ripples and returns to stillness. But most of us aren't in that healthy state most of the time. So when an experience feels too painful, too overwhelming, we start resisting it. We push it down. We try to lock it away. And in that moment of resistance, we become like a dam blocking a river. And here's what Singer tells us. The energy cannot stop. it has to keep moving. So because we have blocked its path outward, it starts spinning in circles inside us. Inside our chest, our gut, our mind, moving constantly, but trapped in one place. And that spinning, trapped pattern of unresolved energy, Singer calls it as Samskara. So it's using the same ancient word because it's the same ancient truth. And here's where it gets really important to understand. Each one of us, each one of these spinning patterns acts like a bar in a cage. A cage we are building around our own consciousness. So 3 things happen because of this cage. First, it traps our focus. Our awareness gets pulled towards these old spinning wounds instead of what's actually happening right now. We are watching old footage instead of living in the present. Second, it limits our freedom. We spend enormous energy arranging the outside world so we don't bump into our stored pain. We avoid certain conversations, certain people, certain situations, not because they are actually dangerous, but because they might trigger what's already hurting inside us. And third, it blocks our natural joy. In yogic teachings, there is a word for the natural flow of inner energy, Shakti. It is described as naturally joyful, naturally loving. But it cannot flow freely when the inner pathways are dammed up by stored energy. So here's what makes the Gita so powerful. Krishna doesn't just describe the problem, he points to the solution. He tells Arjuna, the one who understands the nature of this world, the nature of these accumulated impressions, and who through awareness, detachment, and surrender to the present moment, that person begins to break free. The samskara don't dissolve through force. They don't dissolve through running away. They dissolve through seeing them clearly, through consciousness, through awareness, being the observer, being in the present moment, accepting the reality, not fighting against it. Which is exactly what chapter 2 of Power of Now is about. Can we all think of one stored pattern inside us? That one groove that keeps on spinning? Keeps on playing the old same song that we have been managing around rather than moving through it? So the key takeaway is Samskara are mental impressions, recollections, and psychological imprints that color our thoughts and actions. So what Bhagavad Gita described thousands of years ago, Michael Singer explains as trapped spinning energy, consciousness Awareness of these patterns is a way out. With this foundation in place, we'll start reading chapter 2, Consciousness, the Way Out of Pain, in the next video. Until then, have a very wonderful time, my friends. We'll see you in next video. Thank you for listening, and we would love to hear from you in the comments. Please share your experience or insights you've got after listening to the video. And if this video helped you, please like it and share it with your friends and family who might also benefit. Please also subscribe so you don't miss chapter 2 of Power of Now.